What's going on, everybody? Got Eric here in the front this time, Perry there in the back, Carlos here in the front as well. So today we went to go see a film called First Love, which is directed by Takashi Miike, and the only film that I've seen from him is Audition, and that is a brilliantly disturbing piece of filmmaking that I really enjoyed.
Yep, all of us have only seen Audition.
Yeah.
And I love that film.
And apparently Takashi Miike has made like over 100 films at this point. I think this was his 101st film.
Yep.
So I was a little concerned about that going into it because I'm like, if this guy is technically pumping out 2 to 3 films a year, like, I'm skeptical of the quality because it just seems like you're working too fast, man. You know, just try to calm down and focus on each work. But I gotta say, coming out of it, I really enjoyed this film quite a bit. And I do have some things that I didn't necessarily like about it, but overall, I have to say this was a really enjoyable and really fun film to watch. And I can see like even casual moviegoers watching this film and having a great time with it because it's just a really fast-paced, really hilarious at times, really self-aware, comical type of approach that it has as well. And overall, it's just a really fun film that has excellent characters in it, just really awesome characters that really stand out from each other. And as most Japanese films do, it just focuses a lot on having standout characters. But I will also say that this film had a pretty fun plot that it had to actually tell throughout the entire film, and I liked the way like certain things were told in terms of how certain plot events like would occur, because it's almost like every situation there would be like a new caveat or a new conflict that they had to like figure out. And I like that because like you couldn't really predict most of the things that would happen because it was just so batshit at times, and you're just like, what the fuck, like where is this shit gonna go at this point? But there are some things that I didn't really like about it, and one of them being just the fact that I felt like the first half felt more grounded and it felt like it was more rooted to reality, and the second half it felt like it just gave up on that approach and it just went full comical, like full cartoony type of approach where things became much less like rooted to reality. And I still found it fun. I just found the shift in that a bit jarring, and maybe if it was more consistent with that throughout the film, I maybe would have enjoyed it a bit more. But yeah, and then I think apart from that, some of the writing too I felt like was a little bit too much explaining about certain things that was happening. And as I always say, most of the time you don't really need it because it's already there and you already understand it, but the film like really wants you to get what's happening, so it just keeps spoon feeding you that dialogue that I just don't feel like you really need. But other than that, I still had a blast with this film. It was really fun to watch. I gotta say, I was never bored watching this, that's for sure. So with that, I'll bring it to somebody else.
I can completely understand what Carlos means about the first half feeling a little bit more serious and different in tone than the second half. Because at first I didn't really realize like the tone this movie was trying to go for. So I was trying to get like sucked into like the rooted reality, and then like once all the shit starts hitting the fan, I'm like, holy fuck, okay, I guess we're going full comical. But it was a lot of fun to watch. And I'm not gonna lie, the fucking plot, I understood the bare minimum like of what I need to understand, like the motives, but the details of the plot kind of fucking lost me. I'm like, okay, I'm fucking, I have no idea what's going on sometimes.
I totally get what you mean.
But no, yeah, overall it was so much fun. I laughed a lot in this movie, more than some fucking comedies I've seen this year.
Yeah.
It was very playful in tone, and I really loved when this movie just embraced the fucking absurdity of some things. But it never went over like too over the top to feel like very fake. Like it's almost like a more serious B movie, but yeah, I don't feel like it went so absurd where you just like think the whole movie is just technically a joke. I feel like this was just a very playful, but violent film that has certain like themes to it, I guess, even if the themes aren't like the focus of the movie. And like Carlos said, all the characters were really interesting in their own unique way, and everybody gave like a very energetic performance. And this movie always kept rolling. Like, it was always fast paced, and you're never really bored watching it. You're always intrigued about what the fuck is gonna go on next.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is just fucking fun.
It was a lot like The Raid, except a bit more comical and less serious.
Yeah.
I
haven't seen The Raid.
Just The Raid. Oh, dude, you gotta watch The Raid and The Raid 2.
It's so good.
I personally like The Raid 2 a little bit more.
Most people do.
But that is probably one of the best action films I've ever seen in my life, and also most violent ones too.
Yeah.
But it's like The Raid 2, except it's just a bit more, definitely more comical and less serious. But yeah, and also in terms of like the characters, like they are also like similar in that way as well. But yeah,
this movie reminded me of like Baby Driver meets like fucking John Wick or something. That probably sounds so normie because they're just two very obvious films, and I haven't even seen The Raid. But
well, that's a good comparison. I definitely see that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I liked it a lot.
I think I actually liked it the most out of everybody in this car. Like, I really enjoyed this film. I do agree with Carlos. It does feel a bit uneven. Also, I wasn't crazy about the ending. Like, I feel like the film didn't know when to shut up. Like, when to just, like, end the movie.
Yeah.
It like, the last shot of the movie is like, okay. It's just kind of like, that was an ending, I guess.
Yeah, there was, like, 2 or 3 parts in the, like, when in the third act where I was like, you could have ended it there and it would have been perfect.
I felt the same way, actually.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed the characters, the comedy. Like, I didn't expect it to be so like hilarious, but I was cracking up in the theater, and the characters, they never, like, they were cartoonish. Some of the characters were cartoonish, but they never felt like too cartoony to the point where it took me out of the movie.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's what I like about this movie. I felt like it towed a fine line of not being so absurd that you just can't take the movie seriously on any level.
Yeah, and I felt like the characters were like vastly different. Like, some of them had like similar motivations, but there was one character who was there for like comic relief, and he felt, much different than like the crazy, Yakuza gangster that you're seeing in the very next scene. And they did some really creative things. Like the sword play, the action in general was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I will say there was some pretty like bad special effects in one particular scene.
Are you talking about car crash stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
The special effects for that.
It was really noticeable.
I know
Yeah,
which one you're talking about.
Bad.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
It's funny. It's funny. I knew exactly what we were talking about.
No, yeah. It stood out to me too. I was like, whoa, that looks fake as fuck.
Yeah. But you can. It didn't like bother me so much because like I notice a lot of like modern films, a lot of the blood looks like way too CG or whatever, but I think the way the blood looked in the film wasn't very distracting at all.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Damn, it's like I'm just supposed to just review the entire time. Yeah, I also it definitely took some twists and turns I wasn't expecting, so it really kept me on my toes, because every time you think you know where this film is going, like, it just completely makes a left turn. Yeah. And you're really satisfied. I'm really satisfied that this film managed to subvert me so many times, because I find it, that's my biggest issue with modern action films and modern films in general, is they don't really give me any like sense of like subversion. Like, I feel like I know the plot of the film within the first 20 minutes.
American action films especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
American action films are really guilty of that.
It's so sad that fucking like action films have become like so predictable and so safe
Yeah.
And this film doesn't really feel safe. It feels like somebody had a lot of fun with making it.
Yeah, you can feel the passion behind the film, and that's my problem. Is like a lot of American like action films, like you feel no passion. You feel no passion. You feel no creativity. With this film, I felt all the passion behind it. I felt all the creativity. Takashi Miike knew what type of film he wanted to make, and he more than delivered, in my opinion.
Yeah, like again, like that's not the only issue, but like again, the main issue I have is just I feel like I wish like the first half was a bit more telling for what the second half was going to be.
Yeah.
Because it just gets like, I mean, there's even like a part in the third act that like turns into like this comic book strip type of thing, and like it was really cool, but it was just like it just felt like, damn, this turned into a different movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the first act was definitely the weakest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like
I can
when
see
I was
that.
sitting through the first act, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this film, actually. But like the more the story progressed and the more like the pieces started to come together, I started getting more and more hooked into it.
I feel like my biggest complaint, I guess, was I feel like maybe if the movie was a little like more focused in its story and we had even more time with each character and really fleshing them out, because it had such a large cast of characters, and there's a lot more ones that you like remember than others, and it's harder to just keep up with them, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like that was intentional though, because it is called like First Love, so it really focuses on like the main like love interest, between the boxer and the prostitute.
I love the story behind like the boxer and how him and the girl and like end up meeting and cross paths.
Me too.
Me
I thought
too.
that was really interesting.
But I mean, like all the Yakuzas and but yeah, just everybody, and the police people is what I'm trying to say.
Police and also the fucking Chinese gang too.
Well,
Yeah.
that didn't really bother me so much because they were there to just get like fucking.
Get chopped into bits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because this movie has like most like Japanese films do. They have a lot of characters in this film. Like it's not like obviously they're all weren't meant to be fleshed out, but it's crazy. Like even the ones that weren't fleshed out, they still stand out in a small way
Yeah.
Mhm.
because they have their little traits to them. Like even if you only known them for 5 minutes, you already know their traits somewhat.
I am glad we got a lot of the main characters though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really nice to
Yeah.
see on screen.
The boxer, I think, in my opinion, was a really good character. My favorite character in the film, though, was he was a cartoon, like through and through. He was a double crosser, like the
Yeah.
double crosser named. I think his name was Saku or Jaku.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he was easily my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah, he was absolutely hilarious. I think he had probably the funniest moments in the movie.
Definitely, without a doubt.
My favorite character is the fucking girl who wants to get revenge on the.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was my
loved-
favorite character.
I loved her
Yeah.
so. She was so like. She was over the top, but like I said, they didn't really come across as like too much of a cartoon
Yeah,
character.
it's like you really felt her thirst of wanting to get revenge. And again, like Eric said, it felt believable because it didn't feel over the top, because you could at least understand where she's coming from.
Yeah, I wanted to see her fuck someone up.
Yeah, me too.
I wanted to see her fucking mash somebody's brains in.
Yeah.
As
will
fucked up as it sounds.
I will say there was one one character moment that didn't fit because it felt like it was going everything against the character was motivated toward. As one second, one character wants to capture the girl. The next second, the next scene, like she's like, "Y'all can go. You're
Oh, I
all
know
good to
what you're
go."
talking
I don't know if
okay.
y'all remember what
No,
I'm
I do
talking
remember.
about,
Yeah.
but it's just like that felt very like out of character and very inconsistent.
I guess I'm willing to give it a pass because at the time like she didn't have certain info, and then like she learned maybe just a bit more about like his motive, so like she was like, okay, well I can see kind of where you're coming from, so just go. But I totally agree, because I thought about that when I watched it. I was like, it seems like 1 second like you were pretty stern on not letting them go, and then now all of a sudden you're letting them go. So
Yeah, I really like how the boxer character, he wasn't really fueled by any selfish motivation. it really did feel like he was just trying to help, you
Yeah.
know, the girl, and not for any selfish reasons. Like, he just felt very, like, he didn't have a moment where he just turned into like a fucking John Wick badass where he just fucking beat everybody up like crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And I really liked that though, because everything around him was just so like over the top, but his character managed to stay pretty grounded for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And you do get like a scene or scenes of him like fucking beating the shit out of somebody.
Oh yeah.
But it's believable because he's a boxer and not like a fucking, and he's not like trained to use like guns and knives and shit. He just uses his bare fists and just punches his way.
Yeah, I liked how they
Yeah.
definitely used that as his character for like certain moments in the film.
Yeah.
I like how he
Easily,
uses his fists, but yeah.
easily the most redeemable character in the film, because a lot of the characters in this film are just,
Yeah, there's only 2 redeemable characters. Everyone else in this movie is basically a piece of shit.
yeah.
But, you know, it's still really fun to watch because they basically all get fucked in their own way.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
and it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
My fucking favorite person to see fuck people up is the one armed shotgun.
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
He was
He was
awesome.
fucking awesome.
I didn't realize he only had one arm until like later.
No, I saw it because he just fucking pumps it with one arm and like completely flips it over and shoots people.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
I thought he was just doing that to be a badass for a little bit. Because, you know, some people just do the one arm thing to be cool. But
Yeah.
then I later was like, oh shit, he only has one arm.
Yeah, that whole third act action scene was really fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was really funny too. Like it balanced comedy and action and violence so well
Yeah.
in a way that like I don't think fucking Hollywood is capable of doing.
Yeah, not at all.
No, yeah, this director, he's really good with violence, and it feels like he's very good with his intent, because he can make a very serious, thematic, memorable movie like Audition that has a lot to say, putting the sick and twisted shit aside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that.
and this movie is just balls to the wall, fucking funny, fun action shit.
Some crazy funny shit in this.
Yeah, I definitely recommend this to anybody who just wants to have a good time, that's actually creative and has passion put into it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to be like a film lover to really enjoy this. Like,
No.
as long as you can handle like violence, like you're fine.
And
you can't-
reading subtitles, because
and reading subtitles. Apparently, it's really hard for people in America to do. Asking them to read is like so much. Apparently. But yeah, so yeah, I really enjoyed this film quite a bit. Like I said, I do have some flaws with it that, to me, hindered the quality just a little bit. But overall, this is a pretty fun film, and I could see myself like coming back to this and watching it and
Yeah, I
watching
want
it with
to.
friends. And yeah, I definitely recommend it. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10.
Oh, nice. Yep. To be completely honest, I don't really have that much to add to it. This isn't a movie to like deconstruct or that's gonna change the way you think, but it's one of the funnest I've ever had in the theaters this year in terms of just enjoyment, like
Yeah.
entertainment. I mean,
Yeah, entertainment. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
but I'm gonna give this a strong 7 out of 10.
Cool.
Yep, that's where I lie.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely after this, I'm really excited to see more Takashi Miike films, because I love Audition and I really enjoyed this film. I'm really looking forward to watching Ichi the Killer and,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
know,
I gotta
even
watch that.
beyond that.
Visitor Q, I hear, is very intense.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, I like this film the most out of this out of us, and I'm gonna give this film a 7.7 out of 10.
All right.
Oh wow, so we're all
So we all
pretty-
landed in a pretty similar place, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because Perry was saying, "Oh, you guys are gonna fucking hate me for this rating." I'm like, I don't think so, man.
Yeah, I don't think so. I thought you were gonna give it an 8 out of 10, and then I was still gonna be like, yeah.
I thought you were gonna give it like an 8.5.
no.
No.
Well,
That's
I
way
said
too
you
much.
were gonna hate me because I actually rated this film higher than Ad Astra.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because I only gave Ad Astra a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry.
I
would
put-
you rate this higher on your top or in your top
I
films?
would.
I would, because
would.
my
I would
my thing
not.
is I hate voice-over narration that spoon-feeds the audience.
But the thing is, like, there's a lot of really good, like, French films that do the same shit.
Is there?
Yes, like, so far, like, in my film class, I've watched three French films, and they all do it, and they're all fantastic
Those are from
films.
the 1950s, though. I feel like that's a
that was a different
That
era.
was, yeah.
I mean, it is a different era, but they're used for the same thematic purpose, and they all have it has a similar approach for the character.
But you could say the same thing about American films at that time. That's just how cinema was at the time. And even, like, the French New Wave and even pre-French New Wave, like, they were, like, adopting new filmmaking skills. That's why I admire it for that reason.
I feel like the themes and what Ad Astra was trying to say was fairly easy to read into and pick up, so it made the voiceover narration even more unnecessary.
Well, apparently you're wrong, because casuals absolutely hate it, and they're just like, I don't get it. So, I mean...
Well, those are casuals. Those aren't, Perry Perez's of the world.
I mean, I know, but it's just like, I don't know. Like, for me, I'm not in love with the voiceover narration, but I get what the film was going for, and I feel like it achieved it for the most part.
Not
And
to mention the scenes that felt right out of Star Wars that didn't even fit
yeah.
Astra.
I completely agree. I feel like coming out of it more, I feel like it's too tonally inconsistent. I feel like it's pulling in too many directions.
And that one scene
I don't
where
agree
like
with that at
characters
all.
were dying left and right was just fucking laughable.
Why? I don't get it. That was...
It did feel like rushed for some reason.
It was. I liked it because you didn't predict that to happen. Like, you thought maybe he was gonna go into the ship, but like when they all... We're just spoiling it for people who haven't seen Ad Astra,
shit.
but
I'm sorry.
You should.
I'll put a thing before it
Yeah.
happens so they know.
Yeah, add Astra spoilers incoming.
Yeah. But like the scene, like, I liked it because you don't see it coming, and again, it says a lot about our society, because we live in a society type of thing, or it's just like they just follow fucking orders, and I love that, like, they were willing to give up their fucking humanity.
Well, I understand the thematic intent, but I think that the way it was played out was a little like, huh? Like, why did this happen? Because like everybody just dropped like flies, like in a matter of.
But
10
I like
seconds.
that though. I like that because it's like, again, I didn't see that coming, and I can see something like that happening. Like, it's not like it's impossible for that to happen. And I like that it went in that direction, because then it leaves like Brad Pitt alone. And I don't know. I felt like it worked. Like, I didn't really. And again, like when it goes back to the Star Wars action scene, like, that shit doesn't bother me either. Like, why is it so fucking crazy for people in the future to have weapons that shoot like lasers?
It
like,
felt like the script demanded it. It didn't feel organic to me.
Exactly.
It really did feel like, okay, now we gotta stop because the studio wants us to have an action scene. And apparently the director did compromise a lot with this film.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard about that. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the compromises that he made didn't totally bring it down the way I think most people think it did. Because apparently even the compromises, casuals still were like, dude, what? I don't get it.
Yeah,
So-
that's the thing. I mean, I think it does more than enough to please, like, film lovers. But I feel like your average Joe Schmo, they're just like, this is too boring.
Because the reason, like, I don't feel like it was like a forced action scene is because, again, like, we understand that we're living in a more like dystopian future setting, and like something like this is plausible to happen. My only issue with the scene is that there's again, maybe the voiceover narration just said maybe a bit too much.
That
there.
didn't help, for sure.
But like, I don't mind the scene. I feel like it to me it doesn't feel like out of left field, because to me it's like that would happen in this setting that's already established. So, and again, like the weapons they have, yeah, it seems like, oh, why do they have like lasers and shit? But I don't know. It just, for me, it definitely did not feel out of left field. It felt like, I mean, I do agree in the sense that maybe they did put it in there because they felt like we need to have an action scene now, because we've had like almost 20 minutes with no action. But again, like, I felt the compromises that were made, like, were actually, like, most of them felt natural and worked. There are some though. I mean, I don't think it's a perfect film, obviously. Like, anybody who's seen the review, I think I gave it like an 8.5. So I do have, certain problems with it. But I would definitely put Ad Astra above First Love.
Yeah, maybe
I got a lot more out of Ad Astra than I did out of this film.
I don't know.
Sure, I got more out of it, like Ad Astra thematically.
And it's more of an experience too.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
And it's like more of an experience too for me.
It's like, yes, it is, but
And it's emotional, man. Like, it actually gets you emotionally in some degree.
No. I agree with that. It's just it's like I got more out of it. It's just I feel like this is obviously Ad Astra, like in terms of like technicality, like cinematography and everything, is a better made film, but the writing just really like brought it down for me. At least this knew what it wanted to be. Ad Astra wanted to be an art house. I mean, not art house, but it wanted to be a very thematic film. But there was just so many compromises that brought the film down.
A lot of
Don't
conflicts
go
and
this
interests.
way and then lean the other way, because I hate when films are pulling in two different directions. With First Love, it went one direction, it stayed that direction, it knew what it wanted to be, and it stayed consistent.
I don't
Yeah,
agree with
that's
that.
the thing. A film could be more ambitious and do more that you like, but technically a movie like First Love could be a better film just because it executes what it's doing very well.
Well, that's
Exactly.
funny because you say that, but I don't feel like First Love knew what it wanted to be. Like, the first half was like much more rooted to reality. The second half is fucking batshit comedy.
Well, I
So-
think it was more to like get you like invested in the characters before like all of the, you know, like cartoonish violence took place.
I get that, but it's just like, I
Because
don't know.
if you don't care about the characters, then why the fuck would you give a shit about watching the movie?
I get it, but like, you could have had even cartoony moments with the gangster people. Like, I get having the grounded moments with the two main characters, but like, even like the gangster stuff was pretty rooted to reality too in the first act. Because we're not supposed to give a fuck about those characters, you know? We're only supposed to give a fuck about the two main characters, and I felt like there was definitely a way to achieve a more consistent tone that didn't feel as jarring as it was. And for me, Ad Astra is more consistent with its approach. I'll agree that it's compromising, but it's consistent in the sense that, you know, the voice-over narration is consistent throughout the film. It just evolves better, because I'll agree the first act voice-over narration I think was the most bothersome, but as the film progressed, it felt more purposeful, more thematic, and just like full of rich character that I really enjoyed. But I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I totally understand your argument. It's just, fuck, man. I really got a lot out of Ad Astra. It was emotional. The aesthetics are fucking incredible, and even Brad Pitt's performance. He has some really good moments in this film that come close to pulling tears out of me. And I don't know. It's a really fucking for a space blockbuster to be that good, in my opinion. Like, it takes a lot, because it didn't have to be like that. Like, they could have just gave you a fucking another, you know, schlocky space movie that's just there. Oh, and the movie, and it doesn't even give you aliens. Like,
I do appreciate that.
Like,
Yes.
it could have went as far to be like, oh, we found like the aliens, but it just at the end it's like, nope, it's we didn't find shit, and I guess all we know for now is have each other, so we should appreciate you know, each other as humans. And
Yeah, I like that thematic angle, the whole, like, all humanity, and, like, humans are the cause of all this stuff that's going on.
you know, it's probably one of the reasons why casuals ended up hating it, because they're just like, you spend a lot of time waiting for something really huge and like cinematic to happen, and you just get like something more like thematic between Brad Pitt and his dad, and what that means for them, and, you know, humanity as a whole. And yeah, I really enjoyed that, because it's a big blockbuster space movie that was pretty subdued and was pretty mature with its themes, and I really enjoyed that.
I don't know if this is a compliment or this is a negative, but I kind of expected that. Like, I applaud the movie for not going the cliche alien route and going way crazier than it has any rights going towards. But I had a feeling like it was going to end like that. Like, I wasn't really surprised by what happened in the film. I just liked the way it was conveyed and done.
I can see that.
Because, like, I don't know. I kind of figured that he was going to find a way to reach his dad, even if it means, like, him, like, breaking all the rules.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know.
I feel bad because now that I mentioned Ad Astra, like, this just turned this review into...
It's all right.
It's
It
another
happens.
Ad Astra
It's another
review.
it's another in fabric situation.
Yeah.
I'll just put little timestamps, and if you want to stick around for that, you can stick around.
Well, I
but-
know you're not a fan of long reviews.
I mean, it's whatever.
Oh, I like him personally.
As long as the car isn't hot as shit, I'm okay. And right now it's not hot, so we're fine.
Yeah, oh my god.
So,
And
yeah.
in Fabric, we discussed Interstellar, and this time it's Ad
And this
Astra.
time it's Ad Astra. So
What is it about space movies?
I don't know. But yeah, for me, Ad Astra's higher. I mean, I don't know where I would put this on my top, but honestly, this might not even be in my top 10 right now.
Oh, it's in my top 10.
It's my number 10 now.
Or really?
Yeah.
Because I have High Life like at number 7, I think, right now, and Ad Astra's like at number 8.
Interesting.
Wow, I have this higher than both of you guys.
What do you have it at?
I'm on number 8.
What?
Wow.
Which one?
First Love.
Oh,
So I have it above Ad Astra and In Fabric.
Interesting.
They might change between In Fabric and First Love. I don't know. It could change. But it's below High Life, but above In Fabric right now.
that's
First
great.
Love blows In Fabric out of the water.
In Fabric really blew me away in a lot of ways, but that's the thing. Yeah, In Fabric did so much that I love, but there's so many big reservations that First Love, as like a total package, like it works more than In Fabric, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just like, think about it, like, the Evil Dead movies, like, they're stupid as hell, but they're just so, like, well executed. It's like, you can't help but to acknowledge that they're great film, despite, like, their cheesiness, because they execute what they're setting out to do so well. And I feel like it's a similar case with, First Love, although the Evil Dead movies are way better than First Love.
Oh yeah, of course. Nah, First Love is gonna stay where it is because I just got fucking flashbacks to the second act of In Fabric, and that no,
You got PTSD there.
I just had rose tinted glasses.
People
because of
having
the
conversations
first act.
while fucking having sex.
I didn't mind.
was
I
that?
like that scene. That
I
scene.
hate that scene.
I thought it was
so
pretty
much.
funny.
I like that scene personally.
I think it's cray. You guys got fucking First Love over Ad Astra. That's
Cray
blowing my.
cray?
That's it. Yeah.
Cray cray.
That's cray,
Did you
dude.
just say cray
Yeah, it's
cray?
cray. That's the only way I can describe it because like I really not think y'all would put this above Ad Astra.
sorry,
That's mind blowing
Carlos.
for me.
I told you would hate me.
Well, that yes, I do hate you now for that. I don't hate you for giving it a 7.7, but fuck.
I feel
Everyone
like
does eventually.
First Love actually would have been enhanced if we had like a better auditorium. I don't know why, but the auditorium we were in for this film at the Midtown wasn't like great. It felt kind of empty,
Yeah.
like in terms of the sound.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And we kept hearing the film beside us again.
There was this
Yeah.
one guy behind us that was smacking his popcorn pretty loud.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that, but
Yeah,
I heard it too.
And we had a film critic who was like taking notes during the movie. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, the audience
Christ.
was weird for this. It was
Yeah.
really strange.
It would have been better if we were in 4. We're always in 4, and that's always the best theater experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed this one.
Well, I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for sticking around. If you did, it's really cool. If you did, that really means a lot. Yeah, that's all we got to say about all the shit we just talked about.
Go watch Audition.
Yeah, check out Audition. Check out First Love. And check
Content warning though. Fucking, there's torture in that shit.
Yeah, that shit's really disturbing. Check out Ad Astra too. It's a good film.
Yes.
But all right, if you really enjoyed what we had to say, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film related content.